Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel for another video. So today I initially sat down to film a welcome to fall and other things kind of look. I knew I wanted to play with orange in honor of Dunkin' Donuts and Starbucks releasing their pumpkin spice everything. But as you see in the video, I get incredibly carried away trying to do this nonsense right here. I need to go ahead and also shout out Makeup Missa and her YouTube channel because I've just been truly enjoying the kind of content that she creates. This look right here is heavily inspired by her monochromatic orange makeup video, and hopefully I will be continuing to do more things like this. Go ahead and subscribe if you guys are not already. I have a lot of fun things planned for this fall, particularly in October, and we're gonna go ahead and jump right into the video. Please excuse my face. I just washed off my first attempt to film this look. For today's video, we are going to be dipping into the Norvina palette. This is number 2. I know that she has one that's all oranges, but I don't own that one, so we can't use it. So the first color that we're going to be dipping into is this really pretty burgundy shade right there. This is called C5. We're gonna be applying this with a pom-pom brush. So I'm gonna hit right here in the upper outer edge of like my natural crease. I do want this look to be rather rounded, so we're gonna try to kind of like mimic this curvature here on our eyelid with our little soft bouncing motion. Bounce, stipple, whatever it is that you want to call it. I want to be able to still see that color even when my eyes are open, so I'm going to take it up a little bit higher than that natural transition because you guys know we got some bug eyes. I'm part praying mantis, for those of you who didn't know. Maybe I should turn myself into that for Halloween. Thank you guys all so much. Those of you who are here from Instagram, I put up a little questionnaire on my Instagram and I was like, hey guys, I still need like 6 ideas or something like that. And you guys were hilarious. The things that you commented, like a philodendron, like a disco ball. Someone told me to be a cartoon character, a mad makeup artist, like a cracked out makeup artist, and I was like, I do that every day. But you guys gave me such good suggestions. I'm really excited, and some of my coworkers also gave me some like bomb suggestions. So you guys are gonna see some like pretty wild stuff this Halloween. I am the most excited. This is not going to be one of those videos where I use just one brush to knock out the look because I'm trying to do something so specific. So we're going to take a fluffy brush and we're dipping into D2, which is a pumpkin-y kind of orange color. I accidentally tapped into the pink that was actually right next to it. So we're now using this fluffy brush. So we are going to be picking up that really pretty orange shade and we're going to pack that again in that same like cute little stipple motion, but we want to make sure that we hit a little bit onto that burgundy color and ever so slightly higher because we want this to be like a really pretty like blend, fade, gradient, whatever the word is that you like best. And I am going to pick up that same brush just to kind of help this blend a little bit better. I'm tapping in to just the faintest bit of that burgundy, and I'm going to work that in a soft like windshield wiper or back and forth motion here on that line. Since it now has both colors on the brush, it's gonna help that product like really work in together, and that's just like so much fun. I'm going to dip into this neon orange, which is something that I did not do yesterday. I'm using a now clean fluffy brush since that one has the darkest color on it still. So I'm gonna tap a little bit into that as well as just a tiny little pinch, like boop, of the yellow in this palette. I'm going to start sweeping that color right here on the outer corner. I'm not hitting any of that burgundy. I don't want any of that disturbed right now. I just want this color soft, blown out, gorgeous. Whenever you go to do your makeup, are you somebody who does one eye at a time, or are you somebody who goes like back and forth in order to remember the steps that you're doing? Because I can't even tell you how many times, especially when I started out doing makeup and before I was like filming it, when, you know, cause like when you film, you talk about it, but before when I was just like going ham just because, I cannot tell you the number of times that I would get to my second eye and I'd be like, Now we're going to go back to that little pom-pom brush, and I want to deepen this outer corner just a smidgen. So what we're going to be picking up is this chocolatey brown shade here, and I'm gonna actually tap back and forth between that and chocolatey brown. So you can see that I took that color and we stippled right here on the very outer corner, not going any further than that burgundy was initially placed, and we did start dragging it here into the lid. I'm gonna leave this area right here open because we're actually about to like carve that out, cut it a little bit. I do want to pick up that initial fluffy brush that has that burgundy shade already on it and kiss that black with a little bit more burgundy because I feel like I made it ever so slightly too harsh. I'm gonna take a little bit more of that P. Louise base, not a whole ton. I'm going to use a flat packing brush and I'm just gonna make sure that all of that stuff is saturated here on the tippity top. The reason that I love these flat packing brushes is because they're already in shape for you. When it gets to the end here, where I know that I want those colors to all like fade and kind of taper out, I usually just take my finger and like do a little like tip tap motion and kind of shear out that product because you don't want like a really thick amount of that product in any area that you want your shadows to kind of like blend out together, because otherwise it'll create like a muddled mess later on, and we're just not about that. Now's the fun part, and the part that I'm ever so slightly nervous about, because depending on how much coffee I've had, usually my hand is not the most steady, but I want to pick up the Norvina liner, and this is, yes, the orange. We're gonna be using this to we're gonna do like one of those little like micro liners with the orange. Now, I have tried something like this before, and you know, I kept doing it and like making it too clunky, and I was like, oh my God, what am I doing wrong? And I really do think that the shape of your brush and how thick or thin your brush is has a lot to do with it. So I gave in and I bought one of the Suva liner brushes because it's so tiny and it's also like rather firm. I bought the shorter of the two. This one is the 620. And I will say that yesterday my hands were shaking so much because I'd had way too much coffee, but also there's no such thing. Did not breathe that whole entire time. You know what might be cool? If I were to drag this liner down into that ovular shape and do like one of those. Don't know if I trust myself enough for that. I'm just happy I got this right. That's what it looks like so far. And then the way that Makeup Missa did it, I really liked what she did. I actually feel like that line is like even enough, but she usually, when in the video that I saw of her, she actually took like a Q-tip or a makeup wipe and she like cleaned up the underneath, which is why I didn't do a whole ton of concealer, so that I could, you know, carve out that crease yet again from the underneath if necessary. But I actually am fairly pleased with the way that it looks. I do feel like it's ever so slightly unfinished, like it should be, I don't know, like it should be stopping somewhere. Like it just like stops randomly. So we'll see what I end up doing with it. I'm like heavily debating doing one of those like rounded liners. I'd just be worried that I mess it up. Okay, so after a quick little conference with this here refreshed cup of coffee, I've decided that I really don't like this because there's not enough of a contrast, and we like to contrast. So I'm taking this makeup wipe and sticking my finger right up in it, like so, and I'm going to try very hard to get all this off without disrupting too much of the rest of the work that we've done. And now we're gonna do that thing that I mentioned earlier where we clean up the underside of that line with some more of this here base. And then the only thing that I didn't work out is what color I do want there, since I didn't want that color that I didn't want. Actually, you know what? Out of sheer curiosity, because I do have this handy dandy makeup wipe, and I've just proven to myself that I don't have to wash off the whole look if I mess up. So I'm gonna be picking up on a smudge brush just to kind of clean up this outer side because I wasn't entirely sure what I'm doing. I'm gonna pick up that deeper shade that we used, and I'm just gonna kiss that outer edge. I'm like a huge fan. How fun is that? Super fun. I'll answer that for you. You know what? I'm gonna do this same shape later during Halloween. I'm gonna turn that into a ghost. I do need to pick a shade to like go there now. Something that contrasts pretty sharply with everything else. Honestly, I might even like a white. I'm gonna go off camera and I'm going to probably cry as I make this side look like this side. And I'm also gonna go ahead and fill in my brows, I think, because I have a pretty good understanding of like what's going on in the face now. And then I have one more really crazy out there, maybe stupid kind of idea, and I hope it doesn't mess it up, but it involves the outer corner. What an adventure that was. Okay, you guys, so we finished off the face till about here. You can still see all my little visitors. I didn't want to put foundation on mostly because I will be going to work and wearing a mask. We are actually going to be attacking this lower lash line. So we're going back to that little pom-pom brush and that initial burgundy shade, and I want to kind of round out this shape here. So now we're gonna pick up a fluffy brush and we're gonna go back into that orangey shade, and we are going to hit the very outer skirts of that beautiful little burgundy fade that we have going on here. I'm gonna kind of run these back and forth until I'm happy with like the fade, the gradient. I'm gonna pick up probably the yellow shade. We're gonna try a thing, and if it messes up, I'm so sorry, mostly to myself because I have to leave my house soon, so I don't really have time to be making a mess of my face. So I love this like fuzzy shape over here. I think what we are going to attempt to do is also add a little bit of like a triangular flick. So I've taken a flat brush and I've loaded some P. Louise base on it. We're gonna do, oops. Oh, I already messed up. I just want like a little, kind of like a wing, but not quite like a wing, if that makes any sense. I think I just want like a cute little like triangular mess here on the eye. And I'm kind of like feathering out that inner corner with that base. Does that look like a thing? Because it feels like a thing, a messy thing. I feel like I accomplished what I was trying to do, but I also feel like I made it too large. I feel like something a little daintier would have been more the vibe. And I would have explained it better, except for that I clearly don't know what I'm doing. What I do know is that in order to emphasize this, picking up that smudge brush, I'm hitting the outer edges of that triangle. Just to make it like pop out a little bit more. I'm gonna take that same smudge brush and that white shade that we used in here. Try to clean it up a bit. All right, so we're gonna add mascara and lashes, and then I think we need to be done today. That is going to be it for today's look. I know that I initially sat down to just film something that was gonna be like more pumpkin spice related, and I just got kind of like carried away with the orange and then trying to do the graphic spaceship looking stuff. So this is actually going to be it for today's video, you guys. I'm not gonna bother to finish any of this because I gotta go eat before I go to work and fix these bangs so that I can almost hide that one side. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it and that maybe you either learned something or you just enjoyed me, like, as Makeup Missa says, fannying around a little bit here on my eyelids. Overall, I'm pretty pleased with the way that it looks. I think that when I go to do something like this in the future, I will have learned a little bit through this little experiment, and I think that every time I go to do something like this, I'm gonna get better and better until eventually it's like super clean and pristine. I love you guys a whole heck of a lot. I hope you have a fun, safe, healthy day, and I will hopefully see you in the next video. Bye.